Rangers' slogan this year was "No quit in New York." And I am here wondering if they have quiet quit on Chris Drury, Peter Laviolette, and ultimately the owner, James Dolan. And I mean that because if you watched any Rangers hockey this weekend, you saw a husk of a team. This is a team with, listen, I know they got problems, but that's an enormously talented team.
Of course, they're really not very different from the team that won the President's Trophy and went to the conference final. They're really not that much different.
I asked around, and I said, are the Rangers quiet quitting? And the responses I got were yes, and this has happened before. Mm-hmm. And what somebody pointed out to me was Pete DeBoer in that one season where Vegas missed the playoffs. Now, they had some goaltending issues that year, but they had done some pretty vicious things. That's where the Vegas sort of viciousness was coming out. Mm-hmm. And now we just sort of expect it of them. It's their brand. Mm-hmm. But players can quit on management. And the thing about players quitting on management is Drury might have another trade left in him today or tomorrow. But how much longer can this go on before Chris Drury is the one that gets fired? It's a lot easier to fire a general manager. It's a lot easier to fire a coach.
So I did some sniffing around too.
Okay.
Insider Stevie. And all those players are going to sign in the MLH.
Great.
Nice.
Good for them.
Yeah. So
they're going to sign for Saudi money.
Yeah. They're all going to, hey, we can make more doing that. No, so did some sniffing around. What I was told, and another person told me they had heard the same thing, is there was a players-only meeting. And the players-only meeting was not to discuss Peter Laviolette. As far as I can tell, the relationship with Laviolette is fine between him and the players. Okay. So there's a lot of chatter about him potentially getting fired. I don't get the impression that they think he is either the problem or their main problem. Like if they do think he's a problem, he's not the main problem. Their main gripe was Chris Drury. So the Rangers are... It's so rare that you hear a team collectively having a problem with management. It's usually a little more in the room. Oh, the coach has lost the room. This is an example where a GM who was an NHL player with a very respected career, very successful career, has lost a room full of today's NHL players. Jacob Trouba, like we should have made a way bigger deal about his comment that, getting fired by MSG is a rite of passage. Mm-hmm. That wasn't one player being an entitled brat. I think that was a guy speaking for the room. That's how those guys feel. The one piece of good news that I had heard is I think these guys want to be Rangers.
Well, yeah, I can see that.
They want to be Rangers. The one player I had heard would like out is Kakko. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, he needs more opportunity. I'm sure he wants to make more money, and you can't do that in the role that he has, and he's a healthy scratch. What is it, tonight? Or
Yesterday.
Was it last night? It was last night.
Yeah,
okay.
Against the Blues.
Did it help?
No, they lost 3-2.
Well, there you go.
Kakko's, he's not the reason they've been stinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? So I kind of expect something to come down soon there. Maybe not today, but soon. But I get the impression these guys want to be Rangers. And the reason they're so upset and not necessarily being like, trade me right now, is they want Chris Drury to either change his ways or be gone.
And I think that is one of the major issues here is that every level of this team is in disarray and can't help itself. Because if you're the general manager, you can't reward a group of guys who have given up effort by firing the head coach, because that's what you're essentially doing. You're rewarding them by saying the effort, it's not on you, it's on the head coach. So I'm going to get rid of the head coach, bring in somebody new, and we'll all be happy. And if you're the guys, you should be upset at Chris Drury for the way he's handled the Gaudreau situation and the Trouba situation and all that, and you don't respect him and all, and you think a different general manager should be in there. And I assume everything you guys are saying about the quiet quitting is true. and they're not giving effort for good reasons. But also, you have to be giving effort because every day you have to win in the NHL, and this is your career on the line. If you don't give effort, we're not gonna keep you around here. And if you're Peter Laviolette and he's complaining to the media about the guys not giving effort, that's your job to get these guys motivated.
Something has to give.
Everything is wrong here with each level, and the only guy who's at the top of the food chain there to make decisions is Chris Drury.
Yep. No matter who feels what, something has to change. Now, the way they treated Goudreau, bad. The way they treated Trouba, bad. The name I heard more than once was Kreider. They're furious with...
Well, because he was mentioned in the memo that went to 31 other teams, and they're like, we want to get rid of him.
So I was thinking about this. So, okay, he's had a very good NHL regular season career. Scored over 300 goals. That puts you in the top... It's like a crazy percent if you reach 300 goals. 123 Stanley Cup playoff games in his career. 48 Stanley Cup playoff goals, 28 assists, 76 points. I was thinking about it, and the Leafs are not the team that you should base your standards on, especially when it comes to the playoffs. The Leafs have dudes hanging from the rafters, like their names and numbers immortalized forever, who did less for the Leafs than Kreider has done for the New York Rangers.
Sure, but the bar's different.
The bar is different. He's been to the Final Four at least 3 times. Stanley Cup Final in there. He's been nothing but incredible for this team. He's not even really having a bad year.
But now how much?
He's having a not the best year.
And then now Chris Kreider's playing on the 4th line. Like, he played on the 4th line on Sunday against St. Louis.
He had 75 points last year. He's only got 11 this year.
He's only got 11. For whatever reason, he is not picking up assists. I can't explain that phenomenon, but his goal scoring pace is not far off.
Yeah, but he's amongst the group of players here who are giving very poor efforts on the ice.
Yeah.
And that's in it for a guy who you know has more in him. That's inexcusable.
So here's what I would say to the Rangers having their little players only meeting, because I don't know what it's meant to accomplish. Who's above Chris Drury, right? So really what you're hoping for, okay, we want Chris Drury gone. So we gotta send a message to his boss. Well, as I see it on the Rangers website, there's 2 guys listed above Chris Drury.
Yeah.
There's Greg Siebert, who's the vice chairman, and executive chairman, James L. Dolan. But you know what? Okay, maybe you can't get through to them directly. You know who you should go through? You know who you should complain to? You should complain to the strategic advisor to the chairman. Do you know that person's name?
Does it end with a Dolan?
It sure does. Quentin Dolan.
Oh, there you go.
His son.
Yeah.
Guys, legitimate as your gripes may be, I think you're screwed here.
Yeah, I think the best thing here would be to play good hockey.
Play out of it.
Play your way out of this thing, because the coach isn't getting fired because the GM's not doing that because you hate him, and he's not relieving the coach because you want that done. And the GM has all the power here, unfortunately, even though I believe like the way Chris Drury has acted recently and the moves he's made in constructing this team, I don't think he's probably the best fit for this role going forward. But it doesn't seem there's an avenue to remove him from that post. No. So the only thing here is if you want to stick around in New York, play better hockey, unfortunately. And guys like Zibanejad and Lindgren was awful on
Man, was
Sunday.
he bad. He was bad.
There's a puck going to the neutral zone that it was him and Jordan Kyrou just going to get it. It's just one-on-one battle for the puck. And Lindgren loses that battle, results in a breakaway for Kyrou, who ends up scoring and putting up the Blues 2-0. And Lindgren was the most vocal coming out of Saturday's loss, 5-1 of the Kings, being like, we're getting outworked. We need to win all these battles. And on Sundays, the guy's losing the battles. And that stuff is so disrespectful to the fans there that are rooting on this team.
I hate this crutch, and I don't like doing this. You've watched him a decent amount.
Yeah.
Is he hurt?
Lindgren?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Also, I don't care.
Well, like, okay, so the reason I ask is...
How did he all of a sudden just forget to be good?
This is the thing.
He's
like,
in a UFA year. He's 26. He was a great piece of their run. Again, like Kreider. I wonder if Kreider is too.
Right, but
he should be playing into a contract that brings him generational wealth. And he's playing himself into like a healthy scratch.
Like into like a 1-year deal. I hope you still have it.
Right. And then like Keandre Miller's out. Panarin is day-to-day. He didn't play Sunday at all. And it's not just Lindgren who's been awful. Like Mika Zibanejad, like a lot of Ranger fans want that guy gone, but unfortunately you're not trading that contract.
6 goals.
I don't know if anybody's going to take that deal, but Zibanejad's been awful too, and he got demoted to the third line yesterday because he's been so bad and also didn't put in the greatest effort. You know, you're seeing from top to bottom, it's been a lack of production from all of these guys, and you can't give this sort of effort and expect to get like backing from the fans and the team if this is the way you're on the ice performing.
The worst players, or at very least up front, are the staples. Like the dudes who have been there forever. Panarin is having a unreal season, 36
No
points,
complaints
29
about
games. No complaints.
Except with his defense sometimes.
Sure.
It's not great at defense.
Adam Fox, 25 points in 30 games. Do you complain about that? Of course not.
No. Adam Fox hasn't been Norris Trophy.
No.
That's
Certainly
the level
not.
I expect out of him.
So is that the conversation that we always have with Matthews, where he can't even score 40 goals because that's not good enough because the standard is 69?
yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Adam Fox hasn't
Interesting.
been Norris Trophy level, and that's been disappointing.
Will Cooley, 23 points in 30 games. I mean,
This team doesn't run through Cooley. you
no,
know,
but
like
what a step.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So if he's doing that well, all right, great. How's everyone else doing? Like, I guess what I'm getting to is the dudes who have been there for like a decade. If they're performing to their usual and they get a performance out of him like that, they're doing great, but they're not. Lafreniere, 21 points in 30 games. That's probably below what I expected of him, but he's still fourth. Zibanejad,
You want to chirp? Hasn't been great since he signed that contract.
Zibanejad,
Got your money and you stop trying, Laugh.
Zibanejad, 21 points in 30 games.
Too
as
much
well.
money for the third line.
Trocheck, 18 points in 30 games. Now we're getting a drop off here. Riley Smith, you know what? You got him for pennies on the dollar. He's scoring at half a point a game. Actually, a little bit more.
That was the correct free agent acquisition by Drury. I'll give him that. That's what they needed. Some winger help, and Riley Smith should have been perfect for that role.
He should have been perfect in Pittsburgh too, and it makes me wonder,
Yeah.
does Riley Smith still have it?
Guess who else is scoring at about half a point a game? And it's fine that he's scoring at half a point a game, and you usually keep half a point a game players. Kakko.
Healthy scratch,
Healthy scratch.
which is a curious decision because
He played a great game the game before. That was the thing. Like, he was good before he got healthy. And people, like, Rangers fans are like, why him?
yeah, no, it was a very odd decision by Laviolette, and that's somebody grasping at straws who's probably is just talking to to Drury, who doesn't like Kakko. It seems like Drury's not the fan of Kakko, and that's your GM and head coach skewering a guy who shouldn't be skewered.
I
Kakko's gonna
watched
be a great player.
I watched him in the playoffs. I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Okay, is he second overall pick good? No. Sometimes guys wear that like a friggin' like weighted vest, like I like a backpack full of weights. Someone was like, if he played for like Medicine Hat in the WHL and was named Tanner, like
Everything would be fine.
yeah, but he's Kakko and second overall pick.
Right.
You know, if he was a fourth rounder from Medicine Hat, he'd be fine.
Yeah. The scratching was a weird thing to do from Laviolette's side of things.
Heedle's at half a point a game, and you missed him last year. And then you get into Kreider, who has just a genuinely bizarre stat line with the 10 goals, which is good, and 1 assist, which is horrible. If your mainstays, Zibanejad, maybe Trocheck finds his way into that conversation, and Kreider, the dudes who have been there forever, if they're like average, they're great. Another guy I gotta say is really disappointing. Like he's disappointing to the point where he like negates what you're getting out of Cooley. Is Jimmy Vesey has played 16 games and he's got 3 points.
Would you say he's vanilla?
Yeah.
He was so good though.
He was. No, I'm just saying with the Leafs.
It's annoying.
Yeah. It's
It's
just
an Amazon joke.
Yeah.
There's not
Laugh at my Amazon joke. No, I won't give you that.
like Connor McKee.
I was too busy reading him.
I know.
Connor McKee slugging it out on Saturday against the Kings was fun to watch. You know, you're like, oh, he's getting into a fight and like it's all for nothing. You know, it's like, oh, we're gonna do the thing where we get into a fight and we're gonna galvanize the guys and everything's gonna be cool, and they lose 5-1.
Now, this team should be a GM's dream though, because you have a team that is struggling and you need to make a move. Okay, that's bad. We don't like that. But everyone's confused as to why they're bad, which means you have talent. You have names. You have names that people want. Get moving. How's your phone doing? You got itchy thumbs? Scratch them. It's the surface.
It's hard to make a deal when guys are at the complete bottom of their value.
Well, that's a problem.
You know,
that is a problem.
The guy you want to move in Kreider is like, I keep saying, he's on your fourth line on Sunday. How are you going to move that?
You know where Kreider makes so much sense to me, based on what they did this weekend, is St. Louis.
New York?
St. Louis.
St. Louis?
If they were going to trade him, and the reason I say that is because if you look at the St. Louis Blues, they got Cam Fowler because Nick Leddy is probably going to be out longer term than we thought.
Yep.
And their top two scorers have 25 and 20 points. Wouldn't Chris Kreider look good next to Kyrou and Thomas?
I'd call for Lindgren too. Like, okay, this.
Well,
guy,
I don't think St. Louis needs more defense.
No, I know.
I just think,
well, screw it.
I think they need more.
We're gonna do 10 and 8. We're gonna do 10 and 8. We're gonna have 4 pairs. We're the Blues. We do things different around here. All right?
Jesse's face. When
I didn't know. He's just very.
You're pretend Doug Armstrong there, like
we're doing it. Someone
mix of Don Cherry and a drunk neighbor there.
Hey. Someone, should be like, someone is going to take the bet that Lindgren didn't forget how to play hockey. You know what I mean? They're a fascinating team.
If Kreider becomes available, if he genuinely becomes available,
every playoff team should be in on him.
Here's the thing: I need the Leafs to find their third line center inside the organization, like I need air, because I would love a nice Pacioretty Kreider left side.
You need an established 3C.
I know you do. Don't
be tempted. Don't be tempted. You need an established.
I'm dying
3C.
though. I'm dying. I need it. Kreider as a Leaf. Come on, man. I need it. As a fan, I need it. And that's the thing, is that it's too bad that he's not a center, because he'd be perfect.
He scored 50 goals so recently. Like,
I know.
The Rangers' downfall doesn't make any sense to me. And what I'd be curious about is this players-only meeting. What was Igor Shesterkin's role in it? Because I think it also probably rubbed players the wrong way, that it was very nakedly. Like, have you seen that meme of the Rangers trade Trouba, and it's like Chris Drury at Igor Shesterkin's house half an hour later, and it's just the door opening and a guy holding out literally on his knees holding out a bunch of money. Like,
yeah,
we did A so that we could accomplish B. We traded our captain and kicked him out the door despite his wishes because we signed this guy. And like, I'm not criticizing signing the best goalie in the world, but it's a little difficult to be sitting there as Igor going, yeah, fuck the establishment. Like,
I just got all my money.
Yeah, damn the man who just gave me unfathomable wealth.
Yep.
You know, I wonder if Buffalo, the Rangers, and the Islanders could all fire their GM in the same season.
Lou Lamoriello's not getting fired. He will step down whenever he chooses to.
They got to do something there.
I played the game, or I played our Cliff Fletcher game with Lou Lamoriello.
Oh yeah.
So he was born October 21st, 1942. Adam will like this. He was born during the Battle of Stalingrad.
Oh wow, that was a long battle, to be fair.
And someone was born not the same year, not the same month. They were born the same day.
As Lou?
Same day. Little baby Lou was born in Rhode Island.
He was probably bald then too.
So he probably bald then too.
He was wearing a suit out of the womb.
He came out with his side hair.
And this person, a famous person,
okay,
was born in Brooklyn that same day, October 21st, 1942.
Brooklyn. I don't know.
Judge Judy.
Wow.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
Damn.
Judge Judy was born the same day as Lou Lamoriello.
Well, it must have been they must have been born under an ironclad sign.
Yeah.
In the celestial system, because both of them are above the law.
Oh, astrology.
With Igor Shesterkin, God bless his heart. He got pulled Saturday, and it's like, okay, we're paying you $11.5 million moving forward. We can't have you being pulled against the LA Kings. But also, every goal in that game was Harlem Globetrotters. LA Kings can just come on a 2-on-1, pass the puck where they want in the zone, score a goal. So for him, he's not delivering on the save percentage you want out of a goal you're paying that much. But the team in front of him has been so dog shit lately. You can't really blame him for anything. So it sucks.
They have to change things up because you can't just torpedo a whole season.
Exactly.
You
can.
should make
you
the
are.
playoffs.
You are right at current moment. You are.
You should make the playoffs. There's no reason for you not to.
Right. Now you sit out of a playoff spot. And with the whole conversation, I don't know where you move forward besides like Drury's the boss, so he's going to make all the moves.
Yep.
And he's going to make some shifts and he's going to be really antsy and call GMs openly and all that fun stuff. So there's going to be more stuff coming out of New York and it's going to be just more hell and disaster and chaos.